Hey everybody, Zainab Yunusa Kaltungo here, plastic surgeon, fitness, wellness, and well-being coach. Something happened recently that I thought I should talk about, and it's about something I talked about before, but maybe the story will further illustrate it to whoever didn't get the point from my last video. It's about another dimension to letting go in things that do not serve you. So I was recently at a meeting with an old friend. Incidentally, I happened to be in town at the point where this old friend was supposed to already had an appointment with somebody. So I said, "Oh, no problem, let's go together." So when we got to the place, as we're sitting down, an old friend of my friend happened to be passing by. So this old friend of my friend happens to be, at least what I gathered, must be somebody who had worked in one of the security agencies before. I'm not sure which one, but let's just call him S for security. That's this friend that came to talk to my friend. And then he sat down, decided to talk. And it turns out that like a day before the day we met, he was driving and there was some traffic jam somewhere, and he came out, of course being a security agent, came out to try to sort out the issue. And then there was this person who turns out to be one of those thugs, and he came and started to threaten him out of nowhere. Do you know who I am? The thug was telling this guy who was a former security agent, do you know who I am? And was going to rough him up until people came and calmed the situation. And well, he drove off. And as he was telling us the story, he was like, "Oh, I'm usually prepared. I had pepper sprays. I was ready. But because I realized I was outnumbered, I decided not to go down that route, except it was necessary," which I thought was a good thing. And then whilst we were talking, my own friend said, "Oh, from this description, it sounds like somebody I know." And then he described, was he this, was he that, was he that? That's the thought. He was like, "Oh, yes." And he was like, "Oh, it's somebody I know. Of course, I don't, because I know who he is. I know what he can do. I try not to get involved with him too much. But it's somebody that I meet often at different fora." And then this security man said, "Oh, is it possible you send him to me? I really want to show him that he shouldn't just harass anybody." And well, my friend kind of declined. But in my mind, I was like, somebody who's really enlightened, a former security agent, why would you want to show a thug who you are? He's not worth it. Let it go. You want him to come so that he will be in your turf and you can show him, do you know who I am? It's not worth it. That's your ego at play. And for all you know, he might have you marked down, trace it to a place where you're alone again, and harm you. Let it go. I remember sometime when I was in administration, one thing I learned from my boss then was, when you've done your bit to correct a situation, and especially when there's a particular person involved, and it's as if the person is what we call flexing with you, do what you know is right and let it go. The habit to catch up with them. And I remember in one situation, it was a junior colleague who happens to be a very well-connected person, and the person had not done their work, their clinical work. They were working under me. And I corrected them the first time. They were not listening. I gave them a query. They didn't submit the query on time and was a bit rude. And I said, "You know what? I know your ways will catch up with you." And unfortunately, somehow they had to drop out of clinical program and actually got arrested somewhere along the line. So sometimes we've got to learn to let go. Don't give to anything that is not worth your energy. Don't give your energy to anything that doesn't serve you. So until next time, just learn to let go. Some things are not worth giving your energy to. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. Thank you.